Hi guys, Candia here with For the Love of Paper and Ink. I'm back to share with you a topic that is a mystery to many people. What are junk journals? And we're going to demystify that subject, and we're going to talk about them and how you can use them and what you can do with your own personal junk journals today. And I'm going to share with you a few of my personal junk journals. So let's get started. So it's a question that I've heard many times. People say, what are they? How do you use them? And so junk journals themselves are handmade journals. Many people make them by hand. You sew them together. You work with found objects, recycled materials, such as things like ledger papers, sheet music, vintage books, pages, magazines, graph papers, and much more. So those old things that you look for is, for me, part of the process. The hunt for finding those old things, the old papers, the old recycled materials, is part of the process for me. I love to go to the thrift stores, the vintage stores, to find those things, and they inspire me to what I make. So it's all part of the fun. So if you love to go and do that, you might enjoy making a junk journal for yourself. And it's using those usually forgotten items, those things that people love throw away, that are not loved anymore, is what a junk journal is all about. Those discarded pieces. And the materials that people use in junk journals can be either truly vintage materials, or they can be materials that are used, that are made to look vintage. So people take paper, just like regular copy paper, and they tea or copy dye them and make them look vintage. Or you can take ledger paper that's newer and make it look vintage by tea or copy dyeing it. So you don't have, or regular scrap paper, you can tea or coffee dye it as well. So you can take those materials and you can make them look old if that's what you have, if you don't have original materials, or you can combine the two. That's something I do a lot of times. I take scrapbook papers, and because I want some of those pretty colors in my journals, and I take them and I mix them with vintage papers in my journals. So you combine the two and they make a beautiful mix of old and new together. And by doing that coffee dyeing or inking with like vintage photo inks, or any sort of brown ink, and a pad, it gives that appearance of age to the papers or the ephemera or the flowers. If you put flowers in it, inking the things up, or coffee dyeing or tea dyeing, it gives that aged appearance to it. And that's what junk journals are all about, is making it look old and aged and vintage, and junky, used. You want something that looks used and loved with a junk journal. Also included in junk journals are envelopes, tags, pockets. They're either handmade or they're recycled. So these things hold more writing spots. They hold photos. They hold tickets. They hold ephemera. They give you a place to put more stuff to add to your journal. Those loose things that you collect and want to save, and have a place to put them in your journal. So when you are using your journal and you are loving it and adding to it, it just gets more beautiful with time, because of all the stuff you're putting into it and you're writing. Even if you think your writing is not pretty, it is pretty because it's yours, and somebody else looks at it and loves it. You might not love it, but everybody else does. And that is the beauty of a junk journal, is that it gets beautiful the moment you start using it. And more you use it, the more beautiful it gets. In addition to junk journals, you can embellish it with doilies, fabric scraps, lace, tickets, paper flowers, paper ephemera say you're going on vacation, you get receipts of where you've been and little flyers of things you do and stuff you buy, the tags off of that, any little thing you collect that you want to keep from your vacation or your life, any event you go to in your life. A little kid gives you a drawing and you want to keep that as a little keepsake because they do it from their heart. Anything like that that you want to keep in your journal, depending on what you're using your journal for. And you just put it in your journal and it just gets so loved and beautiful with age. And it's all comes together, making each journal an individual work of art. That's what they are. Junk journals are just individual works of art in and of themselves. And junk journals, they are a creative expression of the maker, and then they become a creative expression of the user. So the maker starts them off for the person who receives them, and the person who receives them then takes them and as a jumping off point and makes them their own and just starts this beautiful journey with the journal and makes it a whole new expression of themselves, and it just becomes this just beautiful book that is a creative artistic expression from them. It's a combination of mixed media and journaling, and it's like this entity of its own in the artistic world, because it's not just journaling and it's not just mixed media, but it's a combination of the two when you use artistic techniques and you use journaling techniques, combining the two into one beautiful mixture in a journal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch cameras and we're going to look at some of my journals that I use, and we're going to see how to use journals and ways that journals can be used on your own for you. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I have a couple of my journals here. I have about 8 journals that I use personally for different purposes. And these are 3 of them I thought I'd share with you. And I've shown these before, but I thought I'd share them again because they're good examples of junk journals. And I hear a lot that people say they're too pretty to use, and they're not. They are made to be loved and used, and they, as I was saying before, they get prettier with use. Don't be afraid of your penmanship. Don't be afraid of making a mistake in them. If you don't like something you do with it, cover it up with a picture, cover it up with a pretty flower or a pretty piece of ephemera that you like. If you find you don't like something you did in it, don't be afraid of the journals. Don't be afraid of the junk journals. They're not meant to be just looked at. They're meant to be used, and they're meant to be loved. That's what they're created for. And so if you think they're beautiful now, wait till you start creating in them. They're going to become gorgeous. And that's the beauty of junk journals. You can't do anything wrong in them. They just become more beautiful with use. And there's many ways of using a junk journal. So they're great for keeping memorabilia, keepsakes, paper items in them. They can become a family heirloom if you want to go that route with them. You can use photos in them. You can keep it as a diary, a daily journal, writing journal. They can become like a scrap type of memory keeping journal, scrapbook type. I think I didn't say that right. You could have them be for a specific event, like a wedding or a vacation, or you could use it as a baby book. There's endless ideas for these. If you can think of it, you can do it. Basically, it's whatever you want to use it for. And some people don't write in junk journals at all. They use them for like art journals. They collage in them. Beautiful ephemera and keepsakes in journals, and the journal is just something to look at. It's not something for writing in. So this journal right here that I have, I call it my scrappy journal, and I use it for keeping positive thoughts in. And I glue a lot of stuff in this. This is where I don't do much. This journal I don't do much writing in at all. This journal I have a few spots that I write in, but I mostly stick stuff in here. Things that I want to do, like retreats information, stuff that people give me, little cards. This friend of mine gave me with a crochet in it, a little button that I got, just different things from pictures from friends, their daughters, just things like that. So it can be what it is that you want it to be. So I do have some writing in here. My husband and I went to a thing for our anniversary, so I kept a little stub from that. Just powerful quotes for me, a little thing that I got in a swap, a beautiful place I went with my family. So that's what this journal is about for me. You can stamp in them, a card that a friend sent me with her beautiful writing in it. So that's what this journal is about. A little shaker card that I got in a swap, another beautiful card a friend sent me with her pictures of her daughters again. So that's what I do with this journal. And this journal was made with pieces of scrapbook paper that I had cut out and had in my scrap pile that I just didn't know what to do with. So it's wonky sizes and calendar pages, and it's a funny size in general, but I love it. A winery place that we went to, a store that I went to when on vacation. So ideas for my craft room, just fun stuff that inspires me, encourages me. That's what I put in this journal. So this journal is kind of like a little bit of a inspirational catch-all. So the journals don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be anything you don't want them to be. And this journal I absolutely love. I made it for myself. I did it junky. I did it creatively. I didn't use any vintage papers in this one. It's all, well, the calendars are old, but, and I love it. I did stamping in it. So you can do it how you want to do it. That's the beauty of junk journals. There's no set rules with junk journals. You can make them how you want to make them. This one I got in a swap, this beautiful little thing, and I made this for my dreams. And I write down dreams in it. I don't have it very full yet, but the lady who made this for me did a beautiful job with it, and I just thought it would be a perfect place to keep dreams in it. And she did coffee dyeing in this and lots of pretty pictures in this. So that's what I'm keeping in this one, is my dreams. And I thought it would be a perfect, cute little place to keep dreams in. So that's what I'm doing with this one. This one I got in a swap too from someone I made a journal for, and then she made a journal for me. And this one I'm keeping letters to my son in. My son is grown, and I am writing him letters, and when it's all filled up, I plan to give this to him. So there's different things that you can do with different journals. I also have a journal that I do art in. I have a journal that I write like diary, like when I have stressful times, that I write down my brain dump kind of thing in. So you can do anything in journals. in a junk journal that you would do in a traditional journal. They're just prettier. You can have fun with them, continue the creative process that was started when they're created, because their life has just started, and it's up to you to continue the journal, continue the life of the journal. That's the beauty of these babies. So junk journals are just a journal. They're made with recycled materials. They're made with love. They're made to be used. When you purchase a journal from a handmade maker, you are making their day. So you can bring out your own creativity with your own junk journal, and you'll be surprised how creative you can get. So anyways, that's what my take is on what a junk journal is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys can delve into the junk journal world yourself. If you're interested in making a junk journal, I'll link a couple of my videos below on how to make junk journals. And you can do either one out of a cardboard box, or one out of an old book, or one out of an envelope, as this one is. So I'll link a couple of different options below for making your own junk journal. And if you so wish to look into that, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up or share it with your friends. And I hope to see you guys next time when we share another video. So thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.